Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Sports Exchange. Yes, I know it's on Monday night. Our baseball group has a night off, and they'll see them back, so we decided to put the Sports Exchange in there so this group can have Christmas Eve off. So don't worry, everybody. If you're seeing the wrong show, well, you're seeing the right show, just a different day, at least for this particular time. And you have to make a lot of different provisions, as Scott Solomon knows, considering the workload we had over on Roundtable over the weekend, right, Scott? We were juggling like batons like a bunch of clowns, weren't we?
Absolutely, but you handled it like a true professional.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, we're going to talk a lot of basketball tonight. We're going to talk some football. I'm going to sprinkle in some non-sports topics as well. And one of them will be actually on the Ritz-Carlton. We're going to talk about the Ritz-Carlton story. I think a lot of people, as you talk about hotels during the travel part of the year, I came up with this one, wanted to share it to everybody. With that said, let me introduce the group here. We got Candy Ebling.
Go Canes.
And
Thanks,
we have George Eichhorn. Yes, the Miami Hurricanes as well.
Good evening. Good to be on.
And Marvin, the traveling man to Tennessee, who loves his burgers with the In-N-Out, right?
In-N-Out Burger, best burger on the market.
Well, we'll be in and out in about an hour and a half to 2 hours tonight, but glad we can have the group on. And we'll go as long as we have for as many people as we have. And I'm going to go through many of these in rapid fire so we don't have a skeleton crew, which I don't think we will because I talk fast anyways. Doesn't matter. And Scott, S Squared, see plenty of this guy. We have a lot of things in the works for 2026. We're trying to finish 2025 strong, right? Scott Solomon?
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to next year already.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. Me too. And last but not least, Tony the Tiger, because you've been a Tiger lately with everything I've been putting this guy through. You'll probably see him more on Monday nights as well on the baseball crew. Once in a while, we'll see. We're working on that. He did a heck of a job last Saturday. So with Barry Bloom. And a big milestone for us here on the network. We did surpass 1 million views mark as well. So just to let everybody know that we're working to grow our brand as much as possible. Something to feel good about. All right, we'll turn off with basketball. All right, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Start off with basketball tonight. Russell Westbrook passed Paul Pierce for 18th on the NBA all-time scoring list. Tim Duncan is 17 with 24, 496. Russell Westbrook at that time, I know the number has changed, 24,398 plus, and Paul Pierce 26,397. Some thoughts, Candy, about Russell Westbrook moving ahead.
He's had a long career. He's had some injuries along the way, but you got to give him props because anyone that's gotten to that point in his career with that many points, that's just a true accomplishment.
George?
Yeah, he's 37 years old now and a veteran, by far a veteran in the league and has had a good career. Came out of UCLA, a great basketball school, as we know. And they'll be, Detroit will be seeing him, in the next game. Pistons are going to be at Sacramento tomorrow night. But, yeah, I take a look at him and I say longevity, but also success.
Marvin?
When I think of Russell Westbrook, I think of just high energy, high effort guy. I love this from a competitor's perspective. I love watching this guy compete and play and fight and just, always hustling. This guy absolutely is one of the best players to ever play in the league. And, the numbers, the fact that he's playing in his 17th year, and still, making plays out there is just phenomenal. So, yeah, this guy's moving up the list. The longer he plays, he'll keep moving up. But there's so much respect for him, just the way he competes.
Okay, Scott.
He's a guy that's had an awesome career, definite Hall of Famer. Love the way the guy plays. Love his motor. Love the way he dishes the ball out. Very unselfish player. He could be on my team any day.
Hello, Eddie Fraser. Glad to have you in here. Thank you very much for being on. Merry Christmas to you. All right, go ahead, Tony.
Love Russell Westbrook. I remember a time where somebody like Jason Kidd getting 8 or 9 triple doubles in the season was like, oh my God, that's a lot of triple doubles. He did it 41 times in 1 year. He's averaged a triple double, I think, 4 times throughout his career, and 8th all time in assists. So not only can he score the ball, he was dishing it out. like Marvin said, one of the greatest competitors of my time, or probably all time in the NBA, top 75 player, man. First ballot Hall of Famer for sure.
Okay, yeah, there's no question that Russell Westbrook's the name that we'll be watching all year. Scott and I and Marvin and Candy and I talk about him on our Katie's Round Table, and this guy's an incredible story. I'm going to do something since it is pertinent to the travel season. We're going to go to a non-sports topic early. Okay, we're going to talk about the Ritz-Carlton story. And this is just one of those things that really, truthfully fascinates me, and that's this. So get ready. There's a lot to throw at you, and that's this, okay? In a bold move, Ritz-Carlton gave every employee $2,000 to fix problems. Most thought this was a huge risk, but Ritz built a $3 billion brand on trust. I'm going to go through everything. Everybody else can comment on them. In 1983, a new CEO stepped in to save Ritz-Carlton. The company was struggling to stand out in luxury hospitality. He created a policy that would terrify most CEOs, empower every employee to act without approval. Candy, take note. This is unbelievable stuff. The rule is simple. If a guest has a problem, any staff member can set up to $2,000 to fix it. No permission needed, no forms. From doorman to dishwasher, everyone had the same power. Why $2,000? Because solving a problem instantly builds a lifetime customer. And for a luxury hotel, a loyal guest is worth far more than $2,000. It was a long-term play for world-class loyalty. The reactions were wild. People called it reckless, dangerous. What if employees abuse it, they asked. But something unexpected happened. Almost no one abused it. In fact, employees felt more respected and acted more responsibly. They didn't need to ask a manager. They acted like owners, not workers. One housekeeper noticed a guest's luggage was ruined. She personally replaced the bag before the guest was even asked. Another covered a honeymoon dinner that went wrong. Guests didn't just feel help, they felt seen. Customers started telling stories. Rick fixed my problem before I even complained. These moments created an emotional connection, and emotional connection builds brands. Behind the scenes, get this, the $2,000 rule created something deeper, trust in both directions. The company trusted itself, and the staff went above and beyond. While other companies trained employees to follow rules, Ritz trained them to solve problems. The rule wasn't about money. It was about ownership, speed, and care. Most brands treat customers' service as an expense. Ritz treated it as marketing. They knew solving one problem could win a customer for life, and it worked. So decades later, this rule defines Ritz-Carlton. It's taught in MBA programs copied by other luxury brands and used to train staff in 30 countries. This isn't about hotels, people. It's about building trust through autonomy. Empowered people create magical experiences, and magical experiences create loyalty. Ritz bet on human intuition. They let real people solve real problems in real time. That's how you build a brand and never forget. So the next time you think about customer service, what would happen if I treated my team more? Because one simple rule helped Ritz-Carlton build a $3 billion empire, and it all started with trust. So there you have it. I laid it out there, Candy. You're in the customer service industry. What are your thoughts about the Ritz-Carlton approach in terms of how they end up going out there and going about their business?
Well, they're trying to get the elite customers in and to stay with them. And to do that, you have to have employees that are willing to project the image you want. And in order to do that, to help do that, you have to empower them. I know for a fact that anytime I empower my employees, they respond better. They're more apt. They feel that you're entrusting them with something, and to entrust them with up to $2,000 for whatever to help clients. I applaud Ritz because they make you get lasting employees that way. You know, if they can solve a problem for one of their customers, they look good, they feel good, and the customer appreciates the fact that they didn't have to go to let me go talk to my manager. Let me do this. the fact that the employee can take care of it right then and there helps. So kudos.
George.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fantastic thing. I mean, there's no other one that I've heard of quite like that one for $2,000. And, like Candy mentioned about the empowerment and the fact that you don't have to go through a line of approvals, that helps eliminate bureaucracy, which we see so much in big companies. And, trying to solve a problem of a customer or a client of yours is fantastic, because everything from lost luggage to missing towels in my room, or the restaurant closed early on me, I have no food to eat, whatever the reason is, whenever you're traveling, all kinds of things can pop up. And certainly Ritz-Carlton is using this as a awesome tool to please the customer. The customer, remember, is number one. I love it, Scott. I think it's a great idea, and hats off to the Ritz-Carlton family for doing so.
And I'll have a few more travel topics a little bit tonight. I think it's interesting out and bringing them up tonight because we're talking about the holiday season, and I want people to know about these. And travel is much a part of sports as anything else. So tonight's one of those nights where I feel like we can do a lot of different things, still have fun, and continue the sports agenda on hand. Marvin?
Yeah, I'm big on customer service, and at that level of business, for the type of client that Candy was talking about, that's the appropriate level of customer service. So just being able to empower the employees to be able to solve problems on the spot. I mean, that's really an elite level of service. So I think it's outstanding. I love it. When you talk like that, Scott, and you tell me those kind of things, I mean, I tell you what, I'm not a Ritz-Carlton dude, but that's something that I could definitely look forward to, that type of customer service. So yeah, kudos to them. I love it.
Yeah, I love stories like this too. That's why I bring them up. I like to do off the wall things on the sports exchange. It gives me opportunity to do it. This is one of those situations where the opportunity presented itself. But that said, we'll turn over to S Square.
The Ritz is simply one of the greatest hotel chains in the world. I always look for a Ritz when I travel. I think that they give you great amenities, and their staff is so warm and friendly. And for them to turn around and give them a $2,000 whoopsie, I think that's a great idea.
Great stuff, Scott. All right, Tony.
I want to be like Scott when I grow up and look for a Ritz whenever I travel. But that's great though. As somebody I'm in Orlando, I've done pretty much any customer service job that you can think of. One of the most awkward moments is a problem coming up and not being able to find your manager. Okay. And and the customer is upset, trying to get it done quickly. You're trying to find a manager, I love the empowerment of this. People are more trustworthy than not. And this shows because, like you said, with this $2,000, nobody took advantage of it. Nobody abused it, and it grew the company. That really shows that it's more good in the world than bad, and more trustworthy people than not.
And that's what inspired me to put this out there. More travel information, another non-sports topic. U.S. travelers now need approval to enter the UK Electronic Travel Authorization, ETA. Candy and I had to experience that. We took care of it. So, Candy, your thoughts about that rule that was implemented about the ETA?
It just means that we needed to get an extra thing on your passport and apply for it. It means you're giving your information to another country. Let them do their background check or whatever they need to do. And it was downloaded right to our passport. So it was part of our passport. So we did it. I get it. There's more security in especially international travel these days. Hopefully just for the sake of being safer. So I'm okay with it.
George?
Yeah, I'm okay with it too, as long as it's not abused. And of course, that's a bigger picture than we can swallow right here. But it's a necessary tool for traveling. Like you said, international, then it has to be done. Everybody hopes nothing gets in the wrong hands, but that's out of our hands.
Marvin?
Yeah, listen, I mean, I'm all for it. With all these terrorist cells that they allege live in our country, we need to know who's coming in, who's going out. So if this is something that they're doing in the UK, doing in Europe, I'm hoping it applies everywhere, coming and going. But I'm all for knowing who's coming to my house.
Scott?
I'm definitely dead set against it. I'm going to go
Okay.
against the grain.
Go ahead.
I'm into small government, no regulation. I don't want to hear about any more invasion of my privacy. Uh, if that was were to be implemented here, I think it would be terrible.
Fair enough. Tony?
I don't know a lot about it. I'm all for safety. So I mean, as long as it's safe and like George said, we're not, the scary thing is information can go to the wrong people. But if everything's on the up and up, I'm cool with it.
Okay, one more non-sports. We'll get back to sports because some of the ones I'm putting up, they're really interesting. You talk about a strange law. This is one of them, but I actually don't mind. I have a problem with it. Okay. In Samoa, forgetting your wife's birthday is literally illegal. So for all you people that are married out there, you forget your wife's birthday. Oh my God, I don't have to worry about that. I know mine anyways. And it lines with a lot of, and my niece, Candy. So in Samoa, forgetting your wife's birthday is literally illegal. What do you think about that one, Candy?
I don't know what to think about that one. I mean, do I want my husband to forget my birthday? Of course not. But should it be a law? I'm like, no. I mean, I just think that's just getting down to too many different laws. And then the problem is are you going to enforce it? And if you don't enforce it, then what kind of law is it? And how many other laws don't you enforce then? And if it takes you away from enforcing some laws that I would think would be more beneficial to the common good, it's a distraction. And no, that's kind of, I'm not for that one.
Okay.
As much as I don't want you to forget my birthday, but I know you don't. I mean, I don't think it needs to be a law.
Nobody forgets your birthday, and Aaron Rodgers never did either. A few years ago, when George Eichhorn and I had to see this on your birthday, we don't need to remind ourselves that the Packers won that one with a pass that one would never forget. But again, with your mom passing away about a week or two prior, I guess I had a soft spot for me. George, I don't know about you. What do you think about this one?
I don't think it should be like a law, like you said, Candy. I mean, there's a lot of other things going on and crime to solve and safety on the streets. And I'd rather have the law enforcement people or the courts or whatever in Samoa concentrate more on the things they should. I can't see it. I'm not in favor of that.
Marvin?
It may be illegal in Samoa. It'd be fatal in my house. If I forget my wife's birthday, it's gonna be a problem. So yeah, it's we celebrate birthdays around here. We do. She leads that. I mean, she has her own birthday events that she does. So it's not even possible. So yeah, it's it is what it is. People in Samoa, man, that's tough, man. Like Candy said, I would think. Well, put it like this: if you're able to prioritize that, then I would think that you don't have as many issues in your country as we have in our country. You know what I'm saying? So that's my take.
Okay. Well, number one, my birthday's 7 days from now, so I'm not classified as the wife. I don't know what I'm classified as, but at least I know 7 days from now you won't see us here on anything on the network because it's my law that I don't do anything on that day. Okay, period. And we'll leave it at that. But I'm not in the business to look at birth certificates. Although obviously my other half here, it is tattooed in my skull. Okay, so I don't forget it.
Well, wait a minute. Let's come clean. I worked on my birthday. I took a vacation day for Scott's birthday.
Right. Well, and I took a driver's test in the middle of the winter on my birthday and got away with it by telling the instructor in the middle, Scott, you ought to know this. I think you're from the north anyways, right, originally?
Sure.
So I ended up telling my driver's instructor the day at the Secretary of State's, because George, forget this, right in the middle of a blizzard here, okay? This is a year before I even know you, okay? I said, listen, I don't remember the lady's name, but all I know is she was cute. I was driving my grandma's yellow Cadillac. Said, but this could go a couple of different ways. One, let me drive where I want and I passed. Or two, we get hurt in an auto accident. No, just go whatever you want. A guy passed, no big deal. And as the old story with my dad would say, later that day, he ran a red light. He'd remember it, probably not remember much of anything else. But I got the license. That was that. So birthdays are birthdays. Not in the business to go out there and look at every birth certificate as they do in Samoa. good luck trying to figure that one out. All right, Tony.
A woman must have made this law. I'm just gonna put it out there. But I'm with Marvin, man. Hey, if y'all ain't never seen the movie Thin Line Between Love and Hate, if I forget my lady's birthday, I'm gonna be forced to eat some cake the next day, and I'm not gonna like it. All right. So I don't gotta worry about forgetting no birthdays. I'm cool on that. I'm good with Samoan law. But on the serious note, clearly crime is down in Samoa. If they got time to make these kind of laws, I might need to go live out there where everything's nice.
Well, here's the thing, Tony. When you earn your royalties and everything from us and everywhere else, and you want to go to Samoa, go ahead. I'm sure they'll be more than happy to have you out there. Since the one law you do approve of that many people on this panel are probably a little bit, as you see in Sanford and Son, then I'm sure they'll be more than happy to have you there. All right, back to sports. We're going to throw a few little non-sports in there. Scott, so Mike Vrabel announced earlier this fall that Patriots defensive coordinator Terrell Williams had been diagnosed with cancer. Candy, any updates on Terrell Williams' condition right now for the defensive coordinator? The Patriots are having a really sensational season.
Basically all I've seen, I'm trying to find some updates. They said he has stepped away from the team since being diagnosed. He's been in and out. Sorry, I keep getting pop-ups.
That happens.
He's been in and out with the team since the spring with what was described then as a medical issue. On September 26th, Vrabel announced that he would be stepping away indefinitely from his position. Since his absence, Vrabel explained that the defensive coordinator has still been around the team before he begins treatment and remains in good spirits. He did not give any updates on when he would be returning to them as he is undergoing treatment.
All I can say is our prayers go out to Terrell Williams for sure. George?
Yeah, he's only 51 years old. Been the defensive coordinator, as you mentioned, this year. All I can say is, that's a tough thing to handle right now for anybody. And prostate cancer is one of the more common ones among men, but we need to keep them in our thoughts and prayers. And you're going to come through this all right, Terrell. Just keep your confidence going, and you're going to be okay, man. Just keep it up.
Marvin?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. You hate to see a young man like that having that type of medical condition, and there's thoughts and prayers to him. Fortunately, those coaches at the NFL, they have great benefit packages, and he'll get the treatment he needs and be taken care of. That's something that's definitely been addressed. But there's thoughts and prayers to him and to his family.
Scott?
Well, I think the number one thing that we should take from this is that men should be getting checked early. And because if you do have it and you catch it early, you won't have that bad of a problem. And it appears as though Coach caught it early. And I take my hat off to Mike Vrabel for the way he's been a gentleman about this and the way he's treating Coach. And I wish Coach nothing but the best.
Tony?
Prayers up for him. Good thing that he's caught it early. Like Marvin said, he's going to have great medical treatment. I'm sure the Patriots are going to take care of him. I'm sure all the way up to the top, Robert Kraft's going to make sure that he's taken care of. So that's always great, and hopefully a quick recovery. Hopefully by next season, he's back on the sideline coaching his boys up.
What a year makes. Mike Vrabel as a head coach, and of course, obviously Terrell Williams is in our thoughts and prayers that he gets better. But the Patriots, what they've done in the last year is remarkable. Back to basketball. Michael Malone shared what he needs for him to happen to accept another head coaching job in the NBA. I just want to make sure that I'm working with a group of people who are like-minded. He was better, obviously, with his firing excuse me, I had something caught in my throat with the Denver Nuggets. Candy.
Yeah, I mean, he's been a coach for a long time. He was coaching all the way back in '93. And he was actually an NBA champion as a head coach. Would like to see him, back in the coaching realm.
George.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely got a good coaching history, like you said, Candy. I mean, you look back, and I mean, he's been around quite a number of years in a number of different colleges and pro teams, including, of course, the Nuggets and the Kings and the Knicks, and as an assistant coach, a lot of great stuff there, and yeah, an NBA champion. It's tough. I mean, coaches get it's a unbelievable 24/7 job. I mean, to be a coach in any one of these major sports and college as well. But Malone's got a good head on his shoulders, and he's done a lot of good things. He's been even in broadcasting a little bit. So I'm hoping if the right opportunity comes, he will be able to step in.
Marvin.
Yeah, as young as he is with his resume, I mean, you would think he'd have a bunch of suitors, So all it takes is, one GM, one owner, to like this guy. That whole situation is about relationships. And I have no doubt that at some point, or him having a relationship with players, but I have no doubt that at some point this guy's going to be a head coach again. I don't know what his demands are. Wanting to be like-minded, I can understand that. I take that as he felt maybe the GM, the owner, and himself as a head coach, didn't have the same belief in whatever they were doing, and people wanted to go in different directions with the organization. So yeah, alignment and being like-minded is really important without question. But he's young, he's a champion. Guys like him, guys play hard for him. So yeah, I have no doubt this guy is going to bounce back and he'll be a coach again.
Scott.
I echo what Marvin said. I think he's a terrific young coach. He got a raw deal. He's an NBA champion. There aren't too many coaches out there that can say that, and there aren't too many coaches out of work that can say that.
Right.
So I think he's going to be working sooner rather than later.
Tony.
Yeah, I think I think Mike Malone, he's taking the coaches' TV year off. It's like a red shirt year. They need to decompress. It's hard being a coach in the NBA. He's just enjoying TV where you never lose a game and you can always make the adjustments at halftime during the break. As a Orlando Magic fan, I like Jamal Mosley, but come on down. Well, I'm a Lakers fan, but being in Orlando and talking to a lot of Magic fans, come on down, take this young team over the top. They're ready for you, Mike Malone.
Here's the thing. Son of Brendan Malone. I got to know Brendan really, really well when he was with the Pistons. In fact, Brendan and I used to spend a lot of time together. Brendan, to me, was one of the most remarkable basketball minds ever. And the fact that Michael's done a job as a champion like Brendan, because he was a champion with the Pistons, Michael did it by himself with his own team, and he's able to put together a pretty nice run over in Denver for sure. We'll continue basketball. Obviously, Damian Lillard is with the Portland Trail Blazers, and, he's their headache for now. But due to the fact that he isn't going to be playing all year, he actually figures to start next season. Had an Achilles injury. You can't say F with that, okay? And I don't have to go ahead and fill in the blanks. It's just got to get it all the way right. In other words, what he's saying is you just can't come back from an injury like that too quickly. I think there's a pretty good upside candy in Portland for Damian Lillard.
Yeah, it's as a Milwaukee Bucks fan, I mean, he played with the Bucks for a couple of seasons here, but his heart was always in Portland. That's where his family is. That's where his kids were. And so for him to go back to Portland, albeit him being injured, doesn't help, but he can really rehab with his family there at home. And yes, we have seen lots of injuries in numerous different sports. It's not healthy to bring them back and rush them too quickly, because you can do more harm and then he could be out even longer. So let him rehab, let him get fully healthy before he comes back. He's one of the top basketball players in the NBA. So give him his due time.
George.
Yeah, he is a good player, better than good. What am I talking about? 25 points per game is average in his career. Are you kidding me? Yeah, he still could play this game and play it at a high level. And he's just going to have to take the time and work through this injury. And I'm sure Portland will be better off for that. I know it's tough because, you want to be out there right away helping your team. Like you said, he's back again. And I think that he's got a lot of great basketball still in him. I really do. I think I've always been a little fan. He's a darn good player.
Marvin.
Yeah, at this point in 2025, where we are in sports medicine, you can really come back from most of these injuries. We've seen players do it. The thing about it is the Achilles is one of the bad ones, man. That's one of the ones you don't want to have to deal with. The recovery can be a year or more. And, for him, when you look at his game, quickness, having a jump shooter, it's the sport itself. I mean, it's very challenging. So between his age and the style of play, you got to be even more cautious. And, this guy, you realize, today you can play a little bit longer. These guys can do it. But a lot of times you got to avoid these kind of injuries, especially late. So I wonder, what we get when he comes back or when he's cleared to really practice. I wonder if he has that quick step. Can he defend at the same pace? Again, 37 years old, man. So we'll see. With all that said, this guy is a phenomenal player. He's a Hall of Fame player. He knows how to prepare, and I'm certain he'll be smart and heady with his rehab because he knows what's on the line.
Scott.
Coming back from an Achilles is worse than coming back from an ACL. The ACL, you can come back a lot quicker now with today's science, but an Achilles, you're still looking at a solid year. And if he were to rush it and come back, bad things would happen. He's not going to be able to do what he wants to do. His Achilles is going to give out again, and he'll be out next year too. He should just take the year off. They should let him rest, rehab, and come back stronger in 2026, 27.
Tony.
I think that's the plan for him to just miss this year, which works out for Portland. They're letting their young guys play. They're getting a lot of playing time right now. They're not looking bad, and which is perfect for next year for them. They'll be a little more seasoned. He'll be a veteran presence with Drew Holiday in that backcourt. And I think it's really setting up for Portland to be good, or at least, competitive in the 2026-2027 season.
Yeah, I agree. That's an injury you don't want to bother with. I've seen it happen in so many different sports, let alone basketball, football. When you see a non-contact injury, what do you think? It's an Achilles, and that's ugly right when you see it happen until you know what the player has to go through. All right, so get this. Giannis family has reportedly moved permanently back to Athens. Candy, what are you reading into this?
He has come out and said that he eventually wants to go to Greece and play in Greece for Greece. So when that timetable is set, I don't know. But let's face it. Honestly, who wants to live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin right now during the dead of cold season and winter? So I get it. He wants to, move back to where he's from. And only time will tell to see how much longer he stays in the NBA before he does go back and permanently, because I know he does want to retire playing in Greece.
George?
Yeah, but can he make as much money though in Greece as he's making here in the United States? I mean, this is a star player, one of the top players in our league, the NBA, and I don't know if I put a lot of weight in this comment. Yeah, it could be, but maybe he's going to wait a little bit longer. I mean, the longer he stays here, the more bucks he's going to make in American dollars, and he certainly deserves it. My God, are you kidding me? He's averaging almost 29 points a game and multiple-time All-Star. We don't have to go through all that. But there's a lot to be said for playing for your home team, of course, in the Olympics. but also it sounds like he wants to go more for maybe a permanent move there. I just think that, I don't see him walking away from another multi-million-dollar contract.
Okay. Marvin?
Yeah, to pick up where George left off, I would bet that his, Nike and his endorsements, these contracts have it written where he has to be in America or play in the NBA, as I think that would benefit them so much more. So I think between that and the fact that he's, this kid could be a leverage play, him wanting to tell the Bucks or whoever may be coming next, listen, I could leave at any time, see my family's gone. I think about all that kind of stuff. So I don't put a lot into that. And again, I doubt Nike would want him to go over there.
Okay. Scott?
He's already accumulated multi-generational wealth.
Right.
And he's not going to go to Greece anytime soon. So he's going to accumulate even more money. It really becomes a question of how many yachts do you have to ski behind. He wants to be happy. He wants to play in Greece. He's going to play in Greece. And Nike will go along with it. Nike's got to sell shoes there too.
That's a great point, Scott, all the way around. Tony?
I'm with Candy. It's probably cold as all get out in Milwaukee. Go ahead, let the fam go enjoy Greece. I'm sure Greece is nice this time of year. It's probably real nice compared to Milwaukee in the cold. Come back in April. We'll be fine. You'll be fine. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Ever heard of Yarmer Yager? When you get up later in age, it don't matter where you play. You've already accumulated the cash anyways. It doesn't make any difference. It's
Scott,
not a matter of if.
Can I add something?
Yeah, let me finish, though. It's
Okay.
not a matter of if. It's a matter of when he goes. Keep that in mind. And yes, Marvin, it's probably a play to get more money or get out of Milwaukee, depending on where the team's at. Go ahead, Candy.
So the reason behind it is they have 4 children. They moved to Athens, Greece with his wife because they want to live closer to family and embrace their Greek heritage, with his children attending school there in Greece, so they can learn that way instead of coming over here and being too Americanized. So his wife's preference was Athens over Milwaukee.
Oh, wow.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, the Miami Dolphins struggles include the fact that Darren Waller will be sidelined for multiple weeks with a strained pectoral. We all documented about the Dolphins, but this Darren Waller thing hasn't helped, and how their quarterback situation, I don't know what they want to do, whether it's to get Quinn Ewers, Zach Wilson some time. So let's go ahead and start with Tony on this. What do you think about Darren Waller, obviously, and the lack of availability, to say the least, Tony?
The wheels are falling off in Miami. This is just the last lug on said tire or wheel. I actually feel, Darren Waller, I think that year off, that takes a toll on your body coming back and playing the full NFL season. So hopefully he can rehab and come back healthy for 2026 if he's willing to play. He was one of the bright spots for the Dolphins. I remember he was killing the Panthers until they decided to stop throwing the ball to him. So that made me happy. So hopefully he come back next year. He can be Quinn Ewers' best friend, because a tight end is always a quarterback safety blanket.
Scott?
Darren Waller had a couple of good games, but he was injured more often than not. I think the Dolphins got damaged goods when they made the trade. When he came back, he had the back issues, and I just think he's more problems than he's worth. There are other tight ends out there, especially in the draft. I don't think they have to worry about Darren Waller coming back. And the Dolphins only have 2 games left. Who cares if they win or lose? Let them lose both games, and they'll get a better draft pick.
Good points. Marvin?
Yeah, I'm a fan of Waller. This is a success story, an NFL success story. The guy who publicly went through some stuff, got through it, got his career back on track, got a chance with the Dolphins, obviously, was good with the Raiders when he was there. And, he's somebody who I'm definitely a fan of. And I'll tell you what, between him taking that year off and Phillip Rivers, I'm telling you, man, I know these guys don't want to miss out on any checks, but, I think just like sitting out a year thing is going to become normal. I think you're going to see guys who play 7, 8, 9, 10 years, get to a certain point, are financially where they want to be. but want to keep playing and take some time off. His situation was a little bit different. He was addressing a real issue he had. But listen, mental health is a new thing. It's a big thing. I believe in it. So yeah, kudos to him. The Dolphins are trash. They need to hit reset, get rid of the quarterback. I was a big Tua fan. Listen, I'm a Trojan and I'm a Jet, and I still like Tua. I like this whole deal, but he's done. And the head coach, that guy, I think he's lost confidence. They have to hit reset in that whole thing in Miami.
George.
Yeah, I'm not that big a fan of him either. I think, like Scott said, he's had a couple of decent years. And, I look back at the days in Oakland, and that's where he had his most successful seasons. But, yeah, anytime you're injury prone like he's been in the last few years, it's tough. It's real tough. But, there is a lot to be said for his stamina and what he stands for as far as his value. I don't think so because, like you said, Miami, what are they, 6-9 now? They've fallen out of contention rapidly. And you can't just blame him, though. It's not all his fault. I'm not saying that. But the fact is that there will be a lot of changes on that Dolphins team, and he could be one of them out the door. We don't know.
Candy.
The Baltimore Ravens selected Waller in the 6th round with the 204th overall pick in the 2015 NFL Draft. October 29th of 2015, he was placed on injured reserve. In 2016, he converted to a tight end and he was suspended for a couple of games. In 2017, he was suspended for a year. Then he was reinstated in 2018. Okay. In 2019, he played a little. In 2020, he played some. In 2021, he played a little. In 2022, he's back, finds himself back on the injured reserve list. Then in 2024, he announced his retirement, and then he came back out of retirement, and now he is back on the injured reserve again. He was activated again now, so he went on the injured reserve back in October, and now he's back to playing. The Dolphins, honestly, what were you thinking? What are you doing? Like,
Right.
Your whole organization is up in arms. You're not hitting on anything. You're not hitting on some of these trades. Obviously, the whole Tua situation you have not handled good. Your coaching, I honestly think, is not doing well at all. I think it's time, and I think he's outlasted his stay here, and I think he's lost the whole locker room. So I think they need to completely overhaul that organization.
What's up, Steven? How you doing tonight, my friend? Great work with us. We appreciate it. Glad he's tuning in and watching us on YouTube. Miami Dolphins are a dumpster fire. They have been for a while. Haven't won a playoff game since 2000. One knows when and if they'll ever figure it out. Darren Waller's the latest example, and a Saka for a lot. Okay, Mac Jones subbed himself out earlier this season, and it's just unbelievable the fact that Adrian Martinez was able to take his first NFL snap. Now Martinez is a member of the New York Jets and has had a lot more snaps. What are your thoughts, Candy, about the gesture of Mac Jones earlier in the year?
He's had some issues too, and he was selected in the 2021 draft. He's already played for Patriots, Jaguars, and now the 49ers. I don't know. He's not having the career we thought he would have. Let's put it that way. I'm going to let George go.
You go ahead.
Yeah, I kind of agree. We it's a tough road to hoe, obviously, in the quarterback position. But I think that he's had his opportunities. He just hasn't capitalized on them. I look at him that way. I really think it's a big challenge to rise to the top. The cream rises to the top, especially at the quarterback position. No question about it. And everybody else that doesn't succeed looks bad, or they look second or third string, and that doesn't look too good. Obviously, you're not going to make big money unless you're a starting quarterback. That's about all I got. at him.
Here's the thing. Mac Jones will be a free agent. He'll be heavily coveted. And Adrian Martinez has been a journeyman, and at best he's been all over the place. Go ahead, Marvin.
Listen, we live in the Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson era. These guys were Super Bowl MVP and league MVPs in their second and third seasons. You know what I'm saying? And they're anomalies. So these guys are going to go down as, some of the greatest quarterbacks we've ever seen. And the position, listen, it takes time for a lot of these guys, man. Some of these guys don't hit. They're not in the right situation. I'm not out on Mac Jones. I like Mac Jones. I think he's a guy who can still can compete for a starting job in the right situation. And, it's been, I think he came out in 2020, so now he's in his fifth year. Let's see, man. He's had some good quarterback coaching in San Fran. Obviously, he played under Saban. He was successful at Alabama. I think he made the Pro Bowl his second year in New England, which that's valued differently these days. He's still a guy that can play the game. So let's see where he gets picked up in free agency. Because like you said, Scott, teams are going to come after him. You see how desperate teams are. The Colts brought back a guy who's been retired for 5 years. You know what I'm saying? So don't give up on Mac Jones yet.
Well, Kyle Shanahan can groom quarterbacks, and he's done a good job with Jones. Scott?
I agree with Marvin. I put Mac Jones in the same category as Baker Mayfield and
yes.
Who else am I thinking of?
Sam Darnold.
Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold. I mean, these are guys that are good quarterbacks that were just in bad situations. Mac Jones had a decent time filling in for Brock Purdy. He didn't do bad. I think he played well in San Francisco so far. He's going to be an unrestricted free agent, and there's going to be a lot of demand for him. He's going to make his money because that's exactly who they're going to point to.
Got any comments about Adrian Martinez?
Adrian Martinez is a never will be. He's a journeyman. He's played a handful of snaps. He's not going anywhere. I mean, he's a backup quarterback on the Jets. That's like being first string for the Little League team.
That's good. I like that. That was pretty strong.
And these are facts. These are facts.
I know, but it's still pretty good, Solomon. Good stuff, man. Okay, Tony.
I haven't sold my Mac Jones stock. He did lead the Patriots to the playoffs his rookie year, and then they decided to take every single weapon away and be cheap like the Patriots were at the end of Bill Belichick's run. I think more quarterbacks are broken than made in the NFL, and that's one way that you hurt a quarterback. Young quarterbacks need their receivers. I don't think Mac Jones is, like you say, in the Josh Allen mode or the Mahomes or the Lamar Jackson. I don't think he's somebody who can do a lot with a little. But if you could put him in a situation where he has a decent offensive line, a good receiver, tight end situation, he can lead you to 10, 11 wins and get you to the playoffs. I don't think he's a Super Bowl MVP quarterback. But if everything's good around him, he'll be good. It's terrible quarterback play. We've had 52 quarterbacks start this year. He'll be all right.
Yeah, again, Martinez, a lifetime journeyman. Jones will be coveted. We'll go to our featured topic, and I know Scott and Tony have 1 hour to give us tonight. No problem. Glad we're able to keep them on for that long, and they're going to get a piece of this featured topic as they should. Early this season, Aaron Rodgers passed former teammate Brett Favre with 500 passing TDs, fourth all time. Candy will give us an update in a moment. The Steelers played in Detroit on Sunday. They ended up beating the Lions 29-24. How many yards did Rodgers have and TDs, and what's his up-to-date total? I know he's going to hit the 65,000 mark at some point, Candy.
Rodgers was 27 of 41 for 266 yards, 1 touchdown with a QB rating of 92.1 in the contest against your team, the Lions. So far, he has 65,812 yards passing.
So 65,000, how many?
812.
So we did surpass that number. That's what I thought. So, okay, continue. So thoughts about Rodgers. He's done I think he's done an excellent job with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I really do.
As you can see, this is a picture of him when he played with the Packers against the Jacksonville Jaguars behind me. He's an elite quarterback. First first ballot Hall of Famer. He's been in the league a long time. Say what you want, Mr. Drama, Mr. Whatever, but he gets it done. He's efficient. He can. He's quick with the ball, and he's quick to read defenses. I think that's one of his strengths. He's accurate, and I think him going to Pittsburgh to a situation he liked has worked well for him, and I think it's worked well for the Steelers. Everybody's talked about how the Steelers never get to the playoffs or never win in the playoffs since Ben and stuff like that, but kudos to Mike Tomlin. He is not as a head coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He has not coached a losing season yet, and he won't this year.
Scott, take note. That photo was taken by Candy over at Lambeau Field, so that's not one that's in our system, Mr. Solomon. Just so you know. So if you have any ideas of adding them later on in our group, you already have your built-in background. Just so you know, Scott. Okay, go ahead.
Good to know.
What's that?
It's good to know.
Oh, it is? That's called an FYI, I swear. George?
Yeah, I mean, he is, needless to say, the crafty veteran, 42 years old. And, he carved up the Lions secondary. Of course, the Lions are decimated back there with so many injuries. But I kudos to him. I mean, he looked good yesterday. He's got a lot of parts that are helping him out, receivers and unbelievable rushing game. He masterminded, and the coaches masterminded that, over 200 yards rushing for the team. But there's a lot of good football left in him. And a lot of people were skeptical, during the offseason. Oh, who wants him? Who's going to sign him? Blah, blah, blah. Well, I think Pittsburgh is showing they made the right move. They made the right move, and he's done a very, very good job for them as they look to advance in the playoffs for a change. We shall see if that happens. But I think, 65,000. Oh my God, that's unbelievable. The amount of yards in his career that he's passed for.
Yep. Yeah, when I did play fantasy football, I did go out of my way to have him on my team a few times. I didn't mind it, actually. It was really a backhanded direct jab at Candy to take his guy just so I could beat her. That's that Lions and Packers competitive thing. Actually, I think one of my family members let him go. And I decided, I said, I'll pick him up, even though he's not going to be worth anything. And it was just a personal family thing that I had fun with. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers is what he is. He's a legendary quarterback. Take the drama aside, but you have to worry about that in Pittsburgh. When you have a coach that you deeply respect, and the Steelers are simply class, no matter what the way the Rooney family does. What do you expect? And I'm glad he ended up going to Pittsburgh, and that Pittsburgh was patient enough to bring him in when they were ready to. It's good for them all the way around. Go ahead, Mervin.
Man, listen, growing up, I was a big Jet fan, obviously, but I was a big football fan. And Brett was one of the guys I used to love to watch as a young kid. And when I got a chance to play with the Packers a little bit in training camp in 2000, he was super cool. He was exactly what you see on TV. And for me, I thought he was just a great teammate. So I don't care how many records Aaron breaks. Brett is the man in Green Bay to me. Listen, talk about Aaron Rodgers. I was one of the guys who thought that when he was with New York, with the Jets, that we should have kept him because he was coming off of the Achilles injury. The same thing we were talking about with Dame Lillard. In his case, it took some time. He was older. So again, going back to Dame Lillard, it's going to take some time, right? With Aaron, we're seeing him somewhat healthy now. Somewhat healthy. He's still got his marbles. His shoulder is good. His arm is good enough, right? And he sees the game really slow. He's a vet in there, man. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are getting what the Jets were looking for. You know what I mean? And that's what breaks my heart, and I hate it. Aaron looks good out there, man. He looks good enough, man. He's getting it done. He's having fun. No drama, right? You don't have any drama in the media. So yeah, man, good for Aaron. I'm rooting for this dude. He's doing well, man, and he'll continue to break records. This for him, it's longevity. The more snaps he takes, the more records that he'll break.
I'm not so sure he's going to retire this year. I don't know why. If he likes it that much in Pittsburgh, I think he's going to play another year. I don't care what he's saying. I'm going to retire. When you start to like it in a certain place, Marvin, and it's just fun, don't you think he'd want to stay around another year?
Listen, he's respected. Him and Mike T have a mutual respect. They've always talked about each other over the years in the media. So this is working out, man. I think Mike T realizes, like Kenny said, he hasn't had a losing season, but that's not the standard in Pittsburgh. They want championships. You know what I'm saying? And I think Mike has the guy he wants. I think he has a tough team. and he has a somewhat healthy Aaron Rodgers. So, hey, the Steelers are in play.
Scott?
I think Rodgers has had a phenomenal season. He's a great quarterback. He's had a wonderful career. I think of him as a Packer first and foremost. I think he'll always be the guy that led the Packers to the Super Bowl. I'd like to see him lead the Steelers to a Super Bowl. I think that would make a great story. But when he was with the Jets, he couldn't accomplish anything. I mean, they really didn't offer him much by way of talent to be next to.
What do you mean?
He had some good receivers. They had no line to protect him. They couldn't keep him upright.
Yeah,
That first
And
year.
he only had
I
one
mean
year.
the first year. I mean the first year.
Oh, the first year he was injured. I mean,
Hey, Marvin, let's look at this. He only lasted 4 plays. How do you keep him upright? Second year, I get it. First
that was
4
the
plays.
turf
Move on. Let's move
MetLife.
on.
MetLife ruins a lot
I
of guys.
don't like picking on Marvin's Jets, but it's just
Yeah, I
too
know.
easy.
It is.
Hey, Marvin, 4 plays. Let's give it. I mean, I see 1 and done, but not 4 and done as in 4 plays. Done. Now, last year, I get it.
It broke my heart, man.
I know.
It broke my
I'm with you,
heart.
brother. I don't want nobody to break your heart, but let's face it, he broke his Achilles. That was worse.
Yeah.
And we saw the repercussions. All right, Scott, are you done with that, or you want to go ahead and stick it up Marvin a little more?
No, I think I've done enough damage for the night.
Tony?
All right, I'm a zig where all y'all zagging, man. I'm a huge Aaron Rodgers fan when it comes to the talent of Aaron Rodgers. When you look at the talent of Aaron Rodgers, he may have underachieved for his career. Only 1 Super Bowl. Green Bay has had plenty of home games. He's lost 4 playoff games in Lambeau Field. That was a place growing up that you would not catch Green Bay dead losing in the playoffs. He lost 4 games in the playoffs at Lambeau Field. He never beat San Francisco in the playoffs. He had the great run, but 2010 was 15 years ago, guys. That's literally the length of some players' career, great players' careers. And he hasn't been back to the big game. So I think as a talent, I love Aaron Rodgers, but when it comes to the achievements, I feel like he's actually underachieved as a player because quarterbacks are judged by wins or losses. And I don't feel like he's won enough to match his talent.
Okay, final topic of the night for Scott and Tony. And I said Scott and Tony only. Washington signed Darnell Savage as a free agent safety who was released by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Ken, do you have an update on Darnell? You want us to come back in a few moments? Fact of the matter is released. All right, so the fact is that Jacksonville let him go, Scott, and Washington hasn't. What are your thoughts about that move?
I don't think it's really earth shattering. I think it's news because they signed a player that they think can help them now and in the future, but he was a cast off in Jacksonville. Okay. And Liam Cohen didn't really clean house when he came in, so he really must have had an axe to grind. Must have really determined that he wasn't good enough to make his team. And if you weren't good enough to make a Jacksonville Jaguars team over the summer, I don't know really what he's going to do in Washington.
Tony?
Not a big deal. I mean, Washington's out of playoff contention. But for him, this is a good time to put on good tape, right? If you're trying to keep a job for next season, coaches, GM, scouts, they're not looking at the point of time in the season, what the team's playing for. You better go out there and play hard to get another invite to another camp because he's playing for his job right now, right? He's playing for his career. So I'm assuming he's going to go to Washington and play like they're playing for the Super Bowl in these next 3 weeks. So that's a good thing for Washington. I'm sure it's hard to have players show up and want to go to work at this time of the season. He's got something to play for.
All right, Tony, I'll tell you what. We're approaching the hour mark. Let everybody know how to get a hold of you.
Oh, man. Talking Game 1 on Instagram, on TikTok, Talking Game on Twitter. And, probably won't do a podcast episode Wednesday since that's Christmas Eve. We'll kind of chill out, but we'll be back next week.
That's why we're doing everything Monday and Tuesday, and then we'll have a few days of decompress. I know Scotty and I had ourselves a busy weekend, didn't we, Mr. Esquire?
We sure did. We had 4 podcasts for Roundtable Sports. We also did a couple fifth quarter shows on Sunday, and it was a long weekend for us, but that's what we do.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun doing it. That's why I slept until 6 o'clock this afternoon and didn't answer any texts until after that. But it was fun. I enjoyed the working relationship, Scotty, that we have at Roundtable. Marvin and Candy are along with us, as well as Jeremy Ballrig. So with that said, Tony, great stuff. And I'll tell you what, my friend, well, we're going to be really nice here. We're going to give you the rest of the week off, and we'll get you back on the network next week, Tony. Great stuff. I'll be texting you, but keep up the good work. We're glad that you're part of the South Florida Tribune Media Company family. I look forward to big things from you in 2026. All right, Tony?
Let's go. I appreciate you guys. You guys have a Merry Christmas. All right. And if I don't see you guys for New Year's, have a Happy New Year as well. All right.
All right,
Yeah,
Tom.
and Merry Christmas to you, and I'll be a different age next time I probably have you on. Okay, just so you know.
All right.
All right.
Oh yeah. Happy birthday to you too.
Yeah, a week from today, by the way. Thanks a lot, Tony. God bless you. You're really an up and comer. I'm proud of everything you've accomplished, but you haven't seen nothing yet, Tony. Okay.
All right.
A long way to go, but you're on your. I know you're a great people. So, all right, take care, Tony.
Right.
As for Scott, well, what can I say, my friend? We have a lot of things we're working on. Glad we have you on tonight. I'll be in your ear. Obviously, we have a story. Looking forward to your story coming up real soon, and the fact that we have a lot of other work ahead of us, Scott. So glad to have you on tonight. This special edition of the Sports Exchange on Monday night. So Scott, get a little bit of rest tonight, and Candy and I will take care of some admin stuff a little bit later. Okay, my friend?
Sounds good. I enjoyed it.
All right, we enjoyed having you, Scott. You're a great addition.
All right, Scott.
Take care, guys. Bye, Marvin.
Yeah.
Happy holidays to you.
Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Thanks.
Same to you, Scott.
Okay, so now there's 4 of us. We'll let everybody finish off the topic about Darnell Savage. What do you know, Candy?
So Darnell Savage, just so you guys know, the Green Bay Packers selected him in the first round of the 2019 NFL draft. Yes, he played there until 2023. Then he went to the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars on September 16th of 2025 released him. On September 22nd, the Washington Commanders signed him. And in 8 appearances for Washington, he recorded 1 pass deflection, 1 forced fumble, 15 combined tackles. On December 4th, the Commanders waived Savage on his own request to be released. On December 6th, the Buffalo Bills claimed Savage off waivers. That's where we're at right now.
So now the Buffalo Bills will have a player down the stretch, Marvin. Hopefully with their playoff hopes alive. Go ahead, Marv.
Yeah, I mean, this is the NFL. Make the team, get cut, play a little bit, play well. So it looked like he was doing well with the Commanders, in 8 games. I mean, he had some numbers, he had some productivity, but it's a competitive league. Your value is based upon the team needs, and somebody goes down, they need a spot, you're the guy who gets cut. You know what I mean? So it sounds like he's just doing the normal NFL tour. To be honest with you, I don't know why he has to be released. Maybe he wasn't getting the playing time, or they weren't going to offer him a contract or an extension. But I wish him nothing but the best in Buffalo. And I don't know that he's a real high impact player. So I don't know how much he's going to really make a difference, to be honest with you. But I hope he can get on the roster and get some games and get a game check.
George.
Well, yeah, I mean, right now he's listed 3rd on their depth chart. It's strong safety. You got the Jordan boys, Jordan Poyer and Jordan Hancock ahead of him.
Right.
But the thing is that, and one of them's hurt. I know there's injuries there. You need depth. No question about it. I mean, we can look no further than the secondary here in my town. I mean, decimated. So I know Buffalo has got, obviously he's joining a very good organization, and the Bills are putting things together. They got a nice little winning streak going. So I'm sure he's pretty happy about that. How much he can contribute at this point, we don't know. But heck, it's a great move for him. At 28 years old, you're right, Marvin. I mean, he's on one team, he's off, he's on one practice squad or whatever. And, that's the life of the NFL players right now when you're not a starter or a second string.
Yep.
Great stuff. All right, time for our first station break. Candace, go ahead.
South Florida Tribune Publishing Company published a book, Lessons from the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. It is written by our host, Scott, the Motor City Madmouth Morganroth. Talks about his 40-plus years in the media business and how it has evolved, old school media versus new school media. And another panelist, Mr. George Eichhorn, wrote the foreword of the book as well. Great job, gentlemen. This book is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. Watch for updates later, shortly, about an audiobook coming out finally. It's taken us a while, but it will be coming out. Wait for more details for that. As far as if you like to listen to podcasts, you can find us wherever you get your podcast. If you want to advertise, sponsor a show, or you want to be a guest on a show, email us at southfloridatribune@gmail.com. Last but not least, if you see that red subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, that means you have not yet subscribed to us. What are you waiting for? Just do it. Click it. Like us. Share us with all your friends and family. Anybody you know that would like our podcast, our broadcasts here. But then turn on your notifications so you're notified anytime we go live. Like tonight, we're doing a Monday edition of Sports Exchange since it'll be Christmas Eve Wednesday night. We thought we'd shift it tonight. So you're getting Sports Exchange where you never know what Scott's going to put on as far as topics go. And I mean, you never know. Tuesday nights, we do Inside the Pigskin, so don't miss tomorrow night's episode. Great stuff. Back to you, Scott.
Thanks, Candy. All right. Well, with that said, time for another non-sports topic tonight. Not what you want to hear before Christmas, but Apple stock fell 348% today. That's obviously on September 11th. Not a good day anyways. But the reason why is it was causing the company to lose around $108 billion in a single day, unveiling the iPhone 17. They claim that the investors felt it didn't bring enough proper innovation. George, I don't know how close you are to getting an Apple, and we're talking about September. But again, when you get a new phone, you want to make sure that if you're going to spend a boatload of money, that you have the necessary innovations. And I'm not a financial guy, but this is something that people take seriously. I upgrade mine every couple of years because everything that we're doing here that requires it, but not everybody's going to do it. What are your thoughts, George?
Well, for any kind of company, but especially a big company like Apple, I mean, you would think that they would have done enough, deep researching and what they call groups of people come in there and they discuss things, and they, you have a system set up. When I was with IBM, I mean, we had these things all set up, and you never bring something to market unless you really, really are sure. If it's gotten off to a slow start, that's Apple's problem then. They obviously are going to have to correct it, because if the 17 isn't one of them that people are running after right now, that's not a good sign, at least for their standpoint. But there's still time. There's still time. I don't know what the fixes or the corrections or what the enthusiasm has to be for them to be more well-liked, at least as far as this model goes.
Earl Kinsey, thanks very much for being on the show. We appreciate you. I hope you're having a great holiday season. One of Marvin's people. Great stuff. All right, Marvin, what are your thoughts about the old Apple situation?
Yeah. Hey, Earl, thank you for the support, man. Listen, Apple, everybody in the world is hooked on Apple like it's a drug, okay? And they got a monopoly on this thing. Seriously, right. I mean, they've impacted, not just American culture, but the world with this Apple product and their marketing. They've done a phenomenal job with that. So, I mean, they have a calendar of when they want to kick stuff out. They know people are going to buy it. Unfortunately, they pushed a product out that wasn't quite ready yet. And, they paid the price for that, you know what I'm saying? Because it's competitive out there with technology. It really is. But, Apple will bounce back. You know how this thing goes. They'll bounce back with something else. They'll fix it. They'll do a recall or however they go in that industry. But I'm not worried about them. People who have the right amount of Apple stock, those Apple executives, they're making money either way, baby. Okay, don't believe the hype. They're making money either way, and Apple is still winning this race.
Candy.
So there were a couple of things that contributed to the reason why the stock dropped in early September of 25, particularly after its iPhone 17 launched on September 9th. Um, Investors were underwhelmed by new products, perceived lack of major AI innovations. They felt Apple was lagging behind the competitors like Microsoft and Google in the AI race, despite some health focused AI features. They were also worried about the ongoing US and China trade tensions and potential new tariffs added cost worries and uncertainty. Some investors hope for higher price increases on new models, which didn't fully materialize. But the demand is still there. People that like Apple stay with Apple. And so you're going to keep upgrading. Let's face it. These phones only last us, a couple years, and then either you want the newest, latest, and greatest. Especially if you're young, you're walking around with the newest, latest, and greatest. And if you're an iPhone Apple user, you typically stay and keep going with that brand. If you're an Android user, you stay Android. If you're an Apple, you stay in Apple. So I didn't see, even though the stock dropped, I knew it would bounce back because, again, we're talking about Apple, and Apple lovers are going to keep buying Apple products.
Great stuff. All right, we have some more non-sports topics tonight. I think it's fun, especially this time of the year, to do it. Here's a good feel-good story. Another non-sport, an innocent man who spent 38 years in a prison gets $25 million for wrongful murder conviction. George?
Did you say $25 million?
$25 million to sit
Oh
in this
my gosh. Wow. Well, unfortunately, this is what's happening in many instances, with, the depth of knowledge as we have from science and going into these re-examination of, crimes that were supposedly committed by an individual, and you've got the right lawyers and the right NCIS group behind you. I mean, the thing is that that's a terrible mistake to make. Let's be honest. I mean, somebody to be locked up for whatever reason and then tried and then thrown in jail for so many years. And we see this happen a lot. But the advancement of science and evidence and those sorts of things, I think, really have opened up a new life for people that are incorrectly charged and incorrectly judged and thrown in jail. So he deserves, or she deserves, everything they get when they have a settlement such as this, if they indeed are not guilty.
Marvin?
Yeah, $25 million, obviously, he's going to be fine moving forward, but you have to ask yourself, what would you rather have, your life back, or have to be able to go back and never do that time? And you think about if you have kids, think about how that impacts your kids, that relationship. You were married, you had a girlfriend, your parents, you had siblings. I mean, the money is great, and he can really, do a lot and impact his family moving forward. But you can't tell me that he would rather go back in time and be not guilty and just be able to earn it like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy that we're at a point where, science can impact people's lives like this, and we can get people off. The reality is, prison is definitely filled full of people who've committed crimes, but, there are many people like him who are innocent, who didn't have technology, didn't have science, didn't have advocates, and they're sitting in that jail cell, man. That's heartbreaking when you think about that, man. So, yeah, I guess it's a positive ending because he got out. A guy who was innocent got out. Thankfully, there was no issue with compensation. He was taken care of. And, I just hope that moving forward, he's able to get his life back in order with his family.
Candy?
Yeah, as you read this story, an innocent man who spent 38 years behind bars in California was awarded $25 million in what his lawyers called the largest wrongful conviction settlement in state history. The settlement was reached in August, according to documents. Maurice Hastings, he's 72 years old, was convicted and sentenced to life in prison without parole in connection with a 1983 sexual assault and murder. And she was killed by a single gunshot to the head. Basically, no amount of money, he said, could ever restore the 38 years of my life that were stolen from me. But this settlement is a welcome end to a very long road. I look forward to moving on with my life. Basically, they sought DNA testing back in 2000, but was denied at the time. Then he submitted a claim of innocence to the DA's Conviction Integrity Unit in 2021, and DNA testing found that the semen was not his. In 2022, when he was 69, Hastings' conviction was vacated at the request of prosecutors and lawyers. The DNA profile was put into a state database and matched to a separate person. Basically, in 2023, a California judge ruled that Hastings was factually innocent, which means the evidence proves conclusively that Hastings did not commit the crime. But now he's gone and gotten the wrongful, getting the money for all those years of wrongfully imprisoned. I can't begin to imagine spending one day, much less 38 years of your life for something you had nothing to do with, absolutely nothing. It's just sad. Yes, $25 million is not going to bring anything back, any of that amount of time back. Hopefully, he can live comfortably now. And it's just sad. It's sad to see anybody wrongfully in prison.
The only thing I would say about Hastings is I hope he has a book in mind. I'm sure a lot of people would buy it.
Or a movie.
Or a movie.
Or a
There you
movie,
go.
yeah. Yep.
Movie
all right.
rights. There we go.
All right, so let's talk about the Detroit Lions a little bit. One of the draft choices that's actually panned out was Tate Ratledge. He became a beast, George. Obviously, they lost Frank Ragnow, and they've been hurt on the offensive line. What are you hearing about Tate Ratledge and the type of pickup that he was for the Lions?
Well, I think he's really progressed well this year, and I think they're pretty happy with him. The unfortunate part is, like you said, they've lost Ragnow. They lost so much other support in that offensive line that's put more pressure on this kid. So you ideally don't want to start out, especially when you're a very successful team like the Lions. You don't want to start out and push this kid right into a starting role, but they've been decimated. And but I think he's got a really good future. I think they're happy with his progress. They just got to get a better supporting cast. It's going to be a tough off season because the Lions are going to have to make some serious decisions here about what they're going to do offensively on the offensive line. But you're right. I mean, he's done a good job. I like Ratledge, and I think he'll be a good starter for hopefully many years to come in Detroit.
Marvin?
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with the player, but I know that Detroit has had problems at the O-line. And in the NFL, I mean, it doesn't matter what else you have. If you're not tough in the middle, if you're not tough at the O-line, if D-line, if you can't protect your quarterback, if you can't do these things and you're hurt with injuries, it's going to be hard to compete. And over time, with five guys, I mean, you want guys to be able to play together. You want continuity. You want guys to have that kind of relationship and have that kind of comfort. Yeah. And it's tough, man, when you're bouncing players out because of injury, putting in new players, and it's just hard to win like that. So and you see it with Detroit. You see where they're at now, right? In addition to the fact that they're still dealing with the loss of their offensive coordinator, which was their offensive voice, their leader. That stuff matters when you look at the totality of all that stuff. It all kind of makes sense. So yeah, Detroit has a lot of things to figure out, and they got some guys, some stars who are paid. They got to figure out how to capitalize on these investments.
Candy?
Tate was selected by the Lions in the second round of the 2025 NFL draft. And he comes from, where did he play college? None other than the Georgia Bulldog. So he knows how to play. He was an All-American and a two-time national champion with the Georgia Bulldogs. He's originally from Chattanooga, Tennessee. He's 24 years old. He's 6'6", 315 pounds. Sounds like someone I don't want to mess with. So anytime your offensive line, defensive line, if you have anytime you have injuries, it doesn't matter where in the NFL, it matters, especially if you're first string. And when you go down and let's face it, the offensive line protects Jared Goff, and he needs that protection. It takes time for these runners to run routes. And remember, there's safeties and people running with them and trying to disrupt them. There's time. Sometimes you need time to get separation. So Jared needs time to be able to throw. And the other thing is, you have Sonic and Boom, two guys that are great running backs, that they need people to spread that line out so that they have running lanes to run through. So hopefully he sounds like a good pickup. Sometimes it just takes time for them to get NFL ready. And Marvin, you've talked about the pace of the NFL and how it's a different game, and you got to get used to that. That matters too. That takes time.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Different tempo in college. These guys are so efficient in their movement, and there's less wasted steps. That's what makes the game faster. It's happening right now. No wasted movement. These guys are trained on footwork and all that stuff. So you have to adjust to that. And that's for any rookie first year player, young player, that's part of the process.
Okay, so we have Earl Kinsey, $25 million is not enough. I would have asked for $2 million a year for each year I was in. Not a bad point. The NFL fined DK. I think they suspended him 2 games. I think that's on appeal.
Yeah, he got 2 games. Scott, listen, I'm playing in my fantasy championship next week. I got DK. He's my number 1 receiver. Now he can't play.
There you go. Here you have it, Earl. Gosh, you're a great contributor tonight. Appreciate it. Everybody's spoken on Ratledge. Is that correct?
Yep.
All right. Now, another non-sport topic of the night. I'm full of them tonight, but some of these are pretty interesting, so I figured I'd throw them out here tonight, here on our Christmas version of the Sports Exchange. But that said, there are more castles, get this, in Germany than McDonald's. How about that? More castles than McDonald's. I didn't think that was possible. In America, Germany is home to over 25,000 castles, while the USA has 13,000 McDonald's. Candy, what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I mean, Germany has a deep historic root and extensive agricultural heritage compared to U.S. our modern fast food. I'm looking forward to our cruise next year, because our cruise does go to Germany, and maybe we'll be able to see some of that rich heritage and the architecture, which I think is cool. So can't wait.
Yeah, like Kennedy said, I'd come up with anything, and now we're talking castles, Germany, McDonald's. Marvin, don't worry. Well, and I want to make an announcement before Marvin goes for the debut of the Motor City Mad Mouth and Marvin at the Mike show will be on New Year's Eve. Okay, forget Dick Clark. You guys, Scott and Marvin. 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. We're going to do an introductory show, and that's one of those things where forget FCC, because we'll be talking about ATG, anything goes. So for those of you, Marvin's already smiling. He said, "Oh my God, my mentor is up to something." Come on, Marvin. Sleep to me, my brother, is a luxury. Okay. People look at Mercedes, they look at Rolls, Cadillacs, luxury. Sleep, I need it, but it's a luxury. Marvin, some thoughts about castles, Germany, and Max.
Listen, in regards to McDonald's, it speaks to our culture, man. They're so dominant in our culture, and we're fast food and processed food, and that's part of American culture. We're young, we don't have that kind of history like Candy was talking about with Germany. So yeah, it kind of makes sense. And I hope that we get away from this fast food, even though I've bought more Happy Meals for my kids than anybody on the planet. So I have.
I'm not so sure I'll be eating at McDonald's out in Germany. Again, we didn't eat any McDonald's, Candy, when we were overseas before, so I don't see it. I think I like the food on the cruise ships.
You don't go overseas to eat McDonald's, Scott. We went to New York for Thanksgiving around, and my daughter wanted to eat fast food. I'm like, you don't come to New York for fast food. You know what I mean? So crazy.
Yeah, I was only going to go in there to take pictures to get the food. I mean, come on, pictures are Polaroid moments, but I'm with you all the way. All right, George.
I ate at Planet Hollywood in Times Square once. That's a little better than
Hollywood.
That's not good, George. That's not.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Really? Seriously? Really? You're talking Planet
I
Hollywood?
think
That's different than
Slice of
McDonald's.
pizza. Get a slice of pizza. Oh, I mean, come on. Get a slice of
Exactly.
pizza.
Germany.
George, you gotta learn. George, you gotta learn how to travel, man. You really do.
Germany. If Germany sold bratwurst or knockwurst at those McDonald's, then they'd be doing the right thing.
But
Now,
they
what-
don't.
Well, do we know that for a fact?
Well,
Uh,
let me tell you, everybody Googles everything up. Why don't you Google
Yeah.
it? You'll have enough time off for a little while.
I think
Really?
that they are
Seriously,
eating
really?
better. They are eating better, but the Germans do have a stronger diet. They like sauerkraut and things like that. So it doesn't surprise me that McDonald's is not as successful over there. But I will research that a little bit and see if they ever served the German knockwurst.
Yeah, do that. I mean, I have no problem with the sauerkraut stuff and all that. Those bratwurst, whatever you call those things. That's a different food. But we're talking about the other stuff that only puts weight on you and makes Haystacks Calhoun, the former wrestler, look like he's not Haystacks Calhoun. You sick the man. Really? Seriously? Really? That's why I'm wearing the hat, because I am. I can make a marketing thing off of all the stupid things he does. All right, well, we'll make him feel more comfortable with the next topic. The Detroit Lions have lost consecutive career. The Detroit Lions have lost consecutive games for the first time since 2022, snapping a 15-game losing streak. Obviously, George, you saw that streak come to an end yesterday at Pittsburgh. It is a pretty decent streak when you put it in its proper perspective, but now they better not lose 3.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they lose, they're over with. We all know that. They're still hanging on by 8% chance or something, they say, of making the playoffs. Yeah, that was quite a streak going back to 2022. I mean, Dan Campbell and his staff did a hell of a job not losing back-to-back games, but the fact is that they don't look good. The last half of this season has been very, very fruitless for the most part. So I think that the big thing to me is the fact that when you replace your offensive coordinator and you tell Mr. Morton he's not going to call plays anymore, that was a really, really blow to that man's ego. But also, it also puts you under a lot of pressure if your name is Dan Campbell. So there's a lot of things going on right now here that are not good. We talked about injuries already. The depth issues are not there. But the fact of the matter is they still have a sliver of a chance. But we'll see what happens. They got to hope for a Packers loss, obviously, in the next 2 games, and the Lions have to win both of them. I don't see that happening, but we'll see.
I'll have a revenge game against Minnesota Vikings on Christmas Day. Marvin?
Yeah.
I mean, this is the time of year where you want to see the playoff teams and the contenders look sharp, look dominant, And with Detroit, the wheels are just falling off, man. You know what I mean? It's really been like that since you lost your coordinators, who you realize how valuable those guys were. Aaron Glenn on defense, then Ben Johnson on offense. I mean, these guys, Detroit had probably the best coordinator combination in the league. That it's fair to say that. So when you lose that kind of leadership and then you start losing players on the offensive line, it's just a bad combination. When your head coach is holding the call sheet, he's the one calling the play on 4th down, and that's not really what he does. That's tough, man. So play calling's a little bit more strategic than that. These guys put a lot more work into it. I'm not saying that he doesn't, but you have to have a feel for that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And it's not something you just thug out. You know what I'm saying? You don't muscle that out. It's not like that. So yeah, like I said, the wheels are just falling off, and I don't think this is going to be a pretty ending for the Lions these last couple games.
Katie?
Oh, where do I start? Oh my goodness. Okay.
Usually at the beginning, but that's okay.
You're so, full of compliments.
I'm always full of compliments, Candy. Usually it is.
I know. So let's give kudos to where it is deserved. Ben Johnson.
Right.
I mean, who thought Chicago would turn around like they have under Ben Johnson?
Right.
Last year they were 5-12. 5-12. And now they're sitting top of the NFC North at 11-4. And what's different? Ben Johnson. What's different with the Lions? Yes, Marvin, both Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. And you got to give it kudos to both of them. But not only here's what I'm going to say. And the Lions had a lot of injuries last year. They have a lot of injuries this year, but they had a lot of injuries last year, but they were able to overcome with the coaches they had. And here's the one thing I'm going to say. Ben Johnson knows how to find the strengths of the people he has in front of him and use those strengths to their best ability to get the best result for the team. And that's, I think, the difference. Sometimes you have really good coordinators that don't make good head coaches. I think Ben Johnson is not one of those. I think he's going to be a really good head coach. He was a really good offensive coordinator. And yes, I agree. He may be, I'm not sure. The only thing is, Earl, I don't know, because both him and Liam Cohn really have propelled both of their teams. And they're both doing really well. So there's a number of different coaches I could say that might be up for Coach of the Year, but both of them definitely deserve some consideration. As far as I think the Lions are having injuries in the wrong spots, and I don't think their coaches are able to overcome those injuries as well. Obviously I'm on the opposite side for you guys. You guys want Green Bay to lose, and I want Green Bay to win because I want to see Green Bay getting in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. But what a difference the NFC North is now that there are at least 3 very competitive teams in the North. Kudos to, all of them. So hopefully we'll see who comes out on top.
You don't survive losing Brian Branch or Kirby Joseph. You just don't. Secondary is an area you get hit deep.
Right.
You just can't do that. DJ Cook's great, but he's a good player, but I don't know. You just can't survive those. They found a way to make moves along the way to fortify their defensive line to get sack people, but it's a different animal when Hutchinson got down, and let alone the secondary. That's a different point. They need to win on they need to at least go ahead and win on Christmas
Thursday.
And nothing else. Yeah, right. I mean, trying to finish over 500 with a 17-game schedule, because I think Ben Johnson's looking for blood. Let's not forget what he's done with Caleb Williams. Done a heck of a job with him too. This guy's going to set passing records in Chicago like no other, and Chicago's a tough place to develop a quarterback, let alone one that's playing in Soldier Field. That's an easy place. They haven't found their franchise quarterback in years, but they've been way more relevant than in Cleveland Brown for sure. So, but that said, great contributions, by the way, from 80 Prather early and Earl Kinsey later. So we appreciate their participation here on the Sports Exchange tonight. And I know that a lot of people out there doing their last-minute Christmas shopping. No problem. Go ahead and subscribe to the South Florida Tribune YouTube channel, and then you can watch this entire show on your free time. Maybe I'll have a little time on Christmas to do it. I don't know. But a lot of non-sports stuff out there we threw. Some of it's travel-related, so it'll give you some things to think about later on down the road. As I get ready for tomorrow night's Inside the Pigskin, Kenzie, give me your overall thoughts about your takeaway from tonight's show.
I like it. I always like the fact that you bring in some non-sports topics, which makes it a more well-rounded show, I guess I would say. Don't get me wrong. I love Inside the Pigskin. I love talking about football, but I also like, talking about different things as well. So I think you did a good show tonight.
Well, what makes that easy, Candy, is the fact that that guy underneath me named Marvin Powell III didn't get freaked out when I brought up Charlie Kirk, and now he wants controversial stuff on his show. And so he obviously survived the Kirk shot one, and I have plenty more things we're working on. Marvin, you've made the Sports Exchange a lot of fun, because that's not an easy show to come on knowing that I'm going to throw different off-the-wall things that most people wouldn't even dare to do. But I'm a gunslinger, too, like Brett Favre. I've always thought he's my favorite quarterback, because the fact that he'd go out there, play 262, 300 games in a row, and get battered the way that he is. So as far as I'm concerned, I enjoy it. It allows people to think on their feet, and I'm glad the group we have on there are well-rounded now. Marvin, you're one of the reasons I've added even more of them. Sometimes I like to taper off some of them. Sometimes I'll go to a series like I did with Rich Carlton, because it was applicable to what everybody would deal with on the road, and you wouldn't get that with any typical thing. And I will occasionally throw a series of events pertaining to one subject, because I want people to be well-rounded there. But the Rich one was a no-brainer. Your takeaways tonight, Marvin.
Yeah, too much negative talk about the Jets. You can't let Scott do that. Okay, we gotta have rules about this situation if we're gonna do this, man. It's bad enough I have to live it as a Jet fan. You ain't got to, come on. Scott, man, listen, I love it. The Charlie Kirk, you definitely caught me off guard with that. I didn't think you had that in you, but now I know. Okay, now I know. So listen, you keep us on our toes. You know what I'm saying? You keep us on our toes, keep us guessing. I have no idea what's about to come out your mouth. What you've been reading this week, where your heart is, where your energy is. I don't know. So I'm always ready for that curveball. Now that I know what I'm dealing with, I love doing these shows with you guys, and looking forward to all the ones we have coming up.
Wow, from Charlie Kirk to Dave Doran. I'm gonna tell you, there's a lot. I never.
You digitally made him dead. He's done. He's digitally gone. We did it, man. Between the social media posts that we're posting with the videos. So poor guy.
Wait till I get through them at ACC Media Day. Candy's going to wonder why I didn't sleep that much. I came up with 4 questions I'm going to ask him at ACC Media Day in the middle of the night, Candy, and I have them on my notes, by the way. So that's one of the things I was actually doing. And once Trazodone hit me, I was done for until 6. All right, George, what's your takeaway, my friend?
Oh, it's a good show. Yeah, lots of good interaction. I like the offbeat stuff as well. I think that we got a good group here, good panel. Of course, 2 of them signed off already, but that's okay. We had them for the majority of the show. And I think it's important to talk about things that are non-sports related. There is more than just sports.
Right.
Oh, man, a lot going on in this crazy world of ours.
So where we live in. You're right, George. With that said, why don't you let everybody know how they get a hold of you?
Alrighty, you can reach me at gicorn@yahoo.com. Follow me on the South Florida Tribune website under a contributor section. At the end of my column, there's always a link to my book, which is called Detroit Sports Broadcasters on the Air. And best way to get it is through Amazon, and there's a link at the end of my column. You can reach me, follow me too on Twitter at SanGSports99. I'm more active on LinkedIn and Facebook as well. So everybody, I want to wish you all a very, very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and been great tonight.
Well done, George. Great job. I like to give you a hard time. That's why I came up to really seriously, really, you're expensive. That's why I have to wear this show once in a while just to keep you honest. All right, Marvin, let everybody know how they get a hold of you. Your platform is growing by leaps and bounds.
Thanks to you guys. Listen, I'm Marvin Powell III. You can catch me. Marvin on the mic is the handle. You can catch me with the South Florida Tribune, typically on Tuesday evenings, Wednesday mornings, Wednesday nights, and Saturday mornings. And you can catch me with Locked On USC Mondays and Thursdays. And we got more to come, Scott, don't we?
Oh, you know it, Marvin. I'll tell you, you talk about an ideal co-host and a guy that's going to do a lot of things. George, you and I did a lot, but wait till I get done with Marvin Powell III. Yeah, I'm on the phone with him. He texts every day, and him and I have a lot planned in 2026. And if you don't believe me, check us out tomorrow. And if you still don't believe me, we got our Saturday show, which is unbelievable with Mel and I and Candy. If still you don't believe me, wait till I get done with Marvel. We have our own show beginning a week from Wednesday night on New Year's Eve. It'll be New Year's Eve rocking with Scott and Marvin.
Hey, Candy, Scott is a hell of a sweet talker, boy. I see how you ended up marrying this guy. You know what I'm saying? Easy to fall in love with this guy, boy. He's smooth, but he's smooth. I love it.
Marvin, do you know the line he used to first start our relationship?
Let's make it go
Scott,
viral
go
right
ahead
now.
And tell him.
Now you
Scott,
say it. Now you brought it up.
No, you
I said there's no reason why the Packers and the Lions can't be teammates.
Okay, I get it. Hey,
safe to say it worked out over at Miller Park on January 1st.
But Candy's somebody who could appreciate that because she has a genuine love for her team. You know what I mean? So that's great. That's great.
Yeah, I still to this day I laugh around. What did she find? I'm thinking to myself, what did she see in me? She could have had any sugar daddy she wanted. Instead, she got a controversial motor mouth. Go figure. That's okay. I guess she's still managing to hang around. That's okay. That's what it is. But she's the anchor and the backbone of our media network, both on the editorial side as well as what we have here at night. So I'm proud of what she's done. I'm proud of all the people that we've had in the system to reach a milestone, the 1 million mark. A special shout out to Stephen Reichel, who's been an intricate part of that between his efforts and mine, and Candy and everybody else that's associated with the network, and the incredible newcomers we have with Marvin Powell III, Ben Troop, and holdovers like. And some of the holdovers like Mel Farr and and some of the new people I have on here as well. We got Barry Foote, we have Warren Brewster, Jake. We also have Trent Clark, and the list goes on and on. So these are just some of the individuals, and you'll see a lot more of the newbies as well. Mike Santos is my hockey guy. We have a lot of great things we're working on, and this is just want to make sure we got this special edition of the Sports Exchange for everybody out there, so you can see a quality show here tonight. Obviously, we're going to be taking this Christmas Eve off and Christmas Day. In terms of being on network, Candy and I will be talking about what we have to do anyways, and she gets that audio book ready for lessons from the microphone as well. A lot more to have out there as well. So with that said, it was a lot of fun. And yes, the non-sports stuff will never go away. I just find it interesting. I really, really do. And I want people to know that our goal here from the beginning, and I've always been very consistent with that approach, is I believe you have to educate, entertain, and inform and have fun. If you don't if you don't check all those boxes, then I don't really think you have a quality piece of entertainment. And that's what I tried to do here. And I'll continue to work to get even better. I don't have an ego. In fact, I never think I'm good enough because I'm always striving for better. But that's just a personal thing for me. However, anybody else wants to do it, I just want to stay humble. And I think the people we have on the network also remain humble. So with that said, once again, I want to thank everybody for joining us. And also a special shout out once again to Tony as well as Scott Solomon. And yes, Earl, we hope you've subscribed to our YouTube channel. You're a great person. If you haven't, please do so. If you have, we appreciate you very much. And Earl, I really appreciate your contribution in the chat room. And when you see Marvin go live, which will be all the time anyways at this point, hop in and we enjoy your comments as well. So once again, on behalf of Scott Solomon, Tony Lewis, Candy Ebling, George Eichhorn, and Marvin Powell III, my name is Scott Morgan, the Motor City Madmouth. Thank you for joining us on this edition of the Sports Exchange. Merry Christmas, everybody, and we will see you tomorrow on Inside the Pigskin. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. Be careful, and we'll see you in about 24 hours. Less than that. Thank you.